Yes.
I'm Jose Casal. I work in coaching. I talk about ghost coaching. I'm working with organizations, senior leaders in organizations to grow, to become better, to make a better impact in their organizations and
Nice.
for themselves.
Cool. Nice to meet you, and thank you for accepting this small
Thank you.
interview time.
Thank you.
So first thing I want you to ask is, what do you think about meetings in general in organizations in the last 5 years? How have those changed?
Well, obviously, there is the pandemic changed everything for a lot of people. For us, the interesting thing for us is that working as a small consultancy in the UK, we never worked together with each other, or we never lived near each other. So our organization was already a kind of like a virtual organization. So things like Miro, we had Miro when it was still called real-time board and things
I
like
remember that, by the way.
and we already use Zoom and things like that.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting that suddenly when the pandemic came, obviously, it was a huge learning experience. But it wasn't just about the technology. It was also about we didn't know how to communicate with each other virtually. We were so relying on smelling each other, as I say, seeing each other in 3D. So lots of people, lots of us, we had to develop new ways of communicating, interacting, reading each other when we were in 2D. Yeah. Develop asynchronous communications, remote collaboration, all those things. And yeah, that was obviously has changed fundamentally. There is always now we're trying to do this hybrid. I always say that it's a bit of a tragedy that people are going back to the office then to sit in front of Teams or Zoom for 8 hours. It's like, when do you go to the office? Go and collaborate. But yeah, no, obviously it has changed a lot. But we have had to do a lot of learning about how to be effective when we're not seeing each other in 3D, as I say.
Yeah, all right. And for yourself, in your daily practice, so are you more an organizer or are you more a participant of meetings? And what's your biggest pain or challenge?
Yeah. I'm gonna the consultant's answer. It depends. It depends is a terrible answer. So both. There might be times where I am facilitating workshops or facilitating conversations or organizing it, and that in those ones I do a lot of what we call workshop design, instructional design. How do we create the environment that people then can bring what they need to bring to have successful outcomes? I also spend a lot of time in meetings when I'm observing what's happening. So it's a challenge because we always used to talk about like Gemba walks, now to go and see what's happening. But these days, of course, when most of things are still remote or hybrid or whatever, we have to learn again how do we observe in these sessions? How do we sense what's happening, the body language, the communications? What happens behind the Zoom
Behind the
call?
screen, in a way.
Behind the screen, yes.
I see. I see.
So yeah, I mean, still a lot of observation to see how we collaborate, how we interact. And I think one of this is the most difficult things or most challenging things in meetings. It hasn't changed in some ways, but I think the biggest thing that I see many times in meetings is that you see people are talking, but we are not saying what we really want to say or what we should say.
Okay.
And then people are not listening either. Sometimes we don't listen to learn. Many times we listen to respond. I have my own agenda. I want to make my point.
Yes,
so the biggest frustration in meetings these days is still that with the pandemic or not the pandemic, virtual or in person, is that we still many times meetings are not really. We cannot get to the point that we really need to get.
To the point, And continuing this, building upon your just what you said is my next small question is: do you think in general these days do we include people enough into organizational problem solving in all kinds of all hands? Do we do it enough or?
The important question there is the enough, and I will say no. I actually, in the talk that we did, I talked about the reverse Gemba walk.
Yeah, I just mentioned to Pascal about this, that, yes.
And what the thing is many times is about opening. One of the tragedies that you have in meetings is that the people that really should have a voice are either not there or they are not able to speak. Yeah. And sometimes it's like opening people's opportunity for people to go and participate in the sessions that really can bring a voice of expertise or the day-to-day work and seeing. So are we doing it enough? No, not yet. But hopefully we are changing this, more collaborative, more participative, breaking silos, breaking hierarchies. And it's like, who can make an impact in this conversation? Who needs to be in this conversation because they will have something to bring to this session.
Awesome, and thank you. And I agree totally with this. And I'm switching over camera for both of us. So basically, yes, I agree with the last thing that you said, that we should do it more and that we should hear voices.
Yes.
And my favorite format is open space.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's when open space works, it's just amazing what happens to people.
But when it is with open space, we not just throw open space. We need to make sure that we create the conditions for the open space to be awesome. When they're awesome.
Yes, and open space, it's kind of, you go on YouTube, you can see the guidelines, you can read how to run it, but I've seen so many times that it doesn't work because you do it mechanically.
Yes.
It's a specific leadership style that we need to run.
Yeah.
But so.
And if there is no safety, then open space.
It's not open.
It's
still closed space.
It's a scared space.
Scared space.
It's open but scared. So I love open space. It's fantastic if it works.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks a lot for this.
Thank you.
And for your time. And let's have a great event here in Estonia.
Yes.
And this again was me, another conversation. Let's see how it ends up in production, because this is a raw material, my first time. And okay.
Life experiments are the best.
Exactly. All right.
See you in Tallinn next year.
Right.